Today we're going to do lesson 2, day 8, activity E. Yesterday we read the story about Otzi the Iceman. And as we read, we looked through the text and focused on our vocabulary words as they were used in context. Today what we're going to do is analyze the text for two things. One, comprehension. Did we understand what the text was telling us? And two, can we find the words in context and determine what they mean? When you look through this activity, there are some words in bold right here shown to you. Since the author has already given us these words and these questions, we know we're not going to use them in the comprehension questions because they're already used, so we can only use each word once. So if you wanted to take the list on the left here and cross out the ones that are shown, then we know which ones we have to choose for the ones that are just based on comprehension. So for example, number 1 says, how do we know that the Iceman had prepared for cold weather? I have to use a vocabulary word in this answer that is not from the list below. That's not been used in these other questions in bold. So when I think about the text and I remember that it told me how he was dressed and how he was prepared for that weather, I remember that he was wearing deerskin. So I can go back to the text and I can find that part where they talked about how he was dressed. Or I could just try to remember. So if I scroll through here, I kind of remember this section right here. He had been clad in neatly sewn deerskin garments with a grass cape to keep out the cold. And then it talked about all the equipment he had beside him, which might have helped him make fire. So in my answer, I could say, Otzi was clad in deerskin and a green cape for the weather to keep him warm, and he also was surrounded by resources and equipment that would have helped him build fires. So that could answer the question, and I've used the word clad, C-L-A-D. So now I'm going to go down to the list on the left, and I'm going to cross out clad. So I've already used that one, and I can't reuse any of these in bold. So now that's going to help me choose my words for my comprehension questions more carefully. So as you go down the list, if the word is in bold, now you know it's a vocabulary question, and you're just going to describe it. So in this one, it says, what is the meaning of succumb as it is used in the last passage? So I remember that succumb means to kind of come to death, to come to an ending, to come to under some kind of situation. So in this case, succumb is describing what happened to Otzi, that he succumbed to the cold weather. He froze. So that's how I would answer that question. So your job today, and it might take 2 days to get through all of these, is to go through the list and do the vocabulary ones and the comprehension ones. Remember, you have to use a word not already used in the other questions. Your teacher will go over the correct answers with you.